my first baking video, so I hope it goes well and I hope everything turns out great. So today we are going to be making classic brownies from the Kitchen for Kids cookbook by Jennifer Lowe. So these are really fudgy brownies, and they are like my favorite brownies ever. The description says a perfect brownie that makes all fans happy since the recipe is both fudgy and cakey. That it is. It is very, very delicious. So let's get started. Recipe, you're going to need unsweetened baker's chocolate, butter, brown sugar, white sugar, and cocoa powder. I like to use dark and light milk, because I just think dark chocolate is really, really good. You also need eggs, vegetable oil, vanilla extract, and flour. You can make these gluten-free by using a mixture of almond and rice flour, and it makes it just the same, and it's still delicious, but people who are gluten-free can eat it as well. We're also going to need a spatula, measuring cups and spoons, a pan, parchment paper, and some butter. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. It's good to preheat your oven ahead of time because then the oven will be ready when you're ready to put the baked good in the oven. Let's get started with adding in the ingredients. First, you need to melt the butter and unsweetened chocolate in the microwave. I want to melt the chocolate and butter in the microwave for about 1.5 minutes at 50% power. Then you need to stir it and put it back in for another 1.5 minutes at 50% power. While you're doing that, you can start mixing the other ingredients into the bowl. In the dry ingredients, that's your sugar, brown sugar, and cocoa powder. Now you're going to want to mix this up so that it's all incorporated and there are no lumps in the brown sugar. The chocolate is now done melting, so you need to stir this up and then put it back in the microwave, as said earlier. Now that that's back in the microwave, we need to add in the eggs, oil, and vanilla. So we need our eggs. So eggs are actually better to crack on the table instead of on the edge of the bowl, as it minimizes eggshell that might get in. Of course, you don't want any eggshell, but it's always nice to have a better way to not get as much eggshell in. Now we've added in the chocolate mixture, let's mix it up. Okay, so it's going to look kind of liquidy like this, but that's perfectly fine, because we have one last ingredient to add, the flour. Add in the flour a little bit at a time, so you have to get it fully incorporated in. This is where the spatula will help. because you need to get all that flour off the sides, or at least most of it, in order for the texture to be right. And the rest, just need some more, then it'll be ready. This is fully incorporated. We have to clean off the table and get ready to pour it in to our pan. Here we go. For this pan, you're going to need some softened butter and some parchment. All you need to do is do a line around the outside to stick the parchment, lay the parchment in, and then butter the sides really well. You want to butter it, almost over butter it, so that the brownie does not get stuck in the pan. Now you're simply going to pour the batter into the pan. This is all done. Just kind of shake it a little bit to get it all even. And now it's ready to go in the oven. You're supposed to put this into the oven for 25 minutes at 360 degrees. Now that these are done, we need to take out a cooling rack and put a paper towel under it. This will help us later. So let's take these out of the oven. But you never really know. So you can take a toothpick and put it into the center. Oh no, it came out a little bit dirty. So I think 5 more minutes and then it will be done. Making, you could take this recipe and make the classic brownie glaze. You just need butter, milk, sugar, powdered sugar, unsweetened cocoa powder, salt, and vanilla. I whipped some up before, so I was refrigerating it. Now I can take it out and let it soften. Okay, so these have been in for about 7-ish more minutes. So let's see. Okay, they're good. So now we're just going to quickly go around the outside with a knife. Warm up a little bit, and then they'll almost be done. Here's a simple trick for getting this out of the pan. Once you've gone around and cut it, put a second cooling rack on top and cover it with the paper towel. Then you're going to flip it over. Then you just have to take off the pan very carefully so that you don't burn yourself. Then peel off the parchment, and voila, your brownie. Then you're going to cut it into squares, and once your glaze is ready, you'll drizzle it over the top. I'd recommend cutting it into about 9 squares. If you want to make them bigger, probably get about 4 or 6. But 9 is the recommended. So after you cut these up, you can take them over to the table, or just to a table where you're keeping your glaze together. And then just thin out the glaze a little bit with some milk, and then spread it on. There we go. Now if you want, you can just add your own little touch. Homemade fudgy brownies.